Kick Him in the Head is a podcast that takes an inside look at the world of mixed martial arts, featuring interviews with some of the top fighters from South Africa and around the world, with a focus on the EFC and UFC promotions. Join us as we delve deep into the techniques, strategies, and mindsets of these world-class athletes, learning from their experiences and gaining insights into what makes a successful fighter in the toughest sport on earth.
Kick him in the head! Welcome to episode 2 of the Kick Him in the Head podcast. Shaheed, how are you doing?
I am so good, my homie. Yeah, it is insane what is going on. UFC 290, EFC 105 is going to be insane. The electricity between Robert Whittaker and Dricus is electric.
Oh, that face off was beautiful.
It was electric, man. I don't
Dricus
know. I
stood
felt
right in
something. It gave me the feeling of 1994. You know, when Francois Pienaar and everybody just beat the All Blacks. Nobody thought they could do it. This is South African fighting a New Zealander. Magic happens, man. Magic flipping happens. We never know what can happen.
Well, he's Australian, but yeah, definitely. You never know what will happen when you fight someone down under.
He's Australian. I swear he's New Zealand.
No, Whittaker and Volkanovski are Australian. It's Izzy and Hooker that are from New Zealand.
Damn it! No, I had everything wrong. Throw the playbook out the window. It's Australia. I'm sorry.
So we're definitely winning, right? We're not going to be beaten by the Wallabies.
I have no idea. I thought it was a 1994. But I could be very mistaken. Like I was mistaken, apparently.
But it is a tantalizing matchup. If you look at who the Reaper is, who Robert Whittaker is, what he's achieved over his career so far, and you look at the threat that Dricus is. So the bookmakers don't have Dricus ahead, and Robert himself said Dricus is washed. Everyone has washed him. No one's really rated him, apparently, because he probably only listens to Australian news. But the fact is, Dricus still knocks Du Plessis is a great threat to his position on the roster, to him potentially fighting again for the title. So it's a very exciting matchup, and I really think that Dricus is really going to bring it, and it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Do you know what I think? I think Dricus has a chance to win if he goes for the takedown. Dricus is he's so much bigger than Robert Whittaker. We saw it in the face-off. I just don't think Dricus is going to do that. We've watched all his fights. He stands and bangs. He's an entertaining fighter. And unfortunately, this is the one where I think he should go clever, go smart, go for the takedown, take him down and work him strong. But we know Dricus, he still knocks and he's always going to knock. You know what I mean? And I'm very excited to watch Cameron. 2 South Africans on a UFC card. I don't think that's happened in a while. Ever. And I think it's going to be awesome. Cameron is a little flippin' bull terrier, pit bull, Rottweiler all in one, and he's just I love to watch him fight. He's so bloodthirsty. It's awesome.
He is a good fighter. Although I think in the last 2 fights, one thing that they mentioned is the number of points that he's lost in a fight due to unintentional. I think one was below the belt against against the last fight, the C-Rod, I think. Below the belt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then he lost another point in another fight. But they mentioned that as potentially being one of his Achilles' heels, because at the top level, you can't lose too many points in a fight. Whether it's inadvertent or not, you can't be losing points in a fight. But definitely, he is a top-level performer, and I think he's really going to show up and perform. They changed his opponent. He's now fighting a fighter out of Alaska who hasn't really fought that much as far as I know, but it's going to definitely be a very good test for him to say, listen, your third fight in the UFC, let's get it.
I also think so. And being such a young guy and displaying what
he's only 22.
He's just kept making from strength to strength in the hardest division there is, the bantamweight. I think there's like millions and millions of guys that weigh 65 kgs, man. It's insane. And he's going to fight them, man. He's going to fight. And a lot of them can fight. It's probably one of the best bases, like for aerodynamic kicks. It's such an exciting weight division, just like lightweight, just like lightweight and those smaller guys, man. Welterweight, yes. The welterweights start getting a bit bigger, so they start hitting a bit harder, less kicks. But I love the lightweight guys, the featherweights. Sorry, that's who I was thinking of. Featherweights. Gee whiz, the lighter guys love the kicks, love the energy, and I think it's gonna be crackers. And what are you thinking about EFC 05? We're gonna be there.
Oh, we are definitely going to be there. We are definitely going to be there. Although I wanted to just talk about one more fight. We have Yair versus Volkanovski for the undisputed featherweight championship.
I just get excited about the Africans, man.
That one for me is exciting because of Yair and his kicks.
Yes.
And he has a higher likelihood than anyone of a head kick knockout. So that fight really, really excites me. Although I'm rooting for Volk, honestly. But the belt that, well, yes, I'm a fan. Look, after I saw what he did to Brian Ortega, you cannot not root for the Volk. You cannot not root for Alexander Volkanovski getting out of those heads. I mean, it was sumptuous. It was skillful. It was strong. It was amazing to watch. So for that reason, yes. But Yair Rodriguez, the kicks, head kick, let's get it.
And it's also the things that flipping dreams are made of, man. This is the one guy that could climb the mountain and become the double champ of the lightweight division and the featherweight division. It's insane. But I love an underdog. I love an underdog. Yair is crazy. That man is going to be bleeding and he's still going to be doing spinning shit and he's going to be coming with the elbows and it's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. But Volkanovski is essentially a gargoyle. He's like this thing made of stone that was brought to life to fight. Brilliant. I love it.
And fight successfully and consistently, because he's even planning to go and rematch Makhachev after this fight, presuming he wins.
He did do well. He did do very, very, very well. I mean, I think he did the best out of anybody I've seen. But what I would love to see is Charles kick him in the face. I think that would be awesome. I think Alex, it's like two nice guys just shaking hands and saying, I'm going to brutally try murder you. And I love fights like that. So if we could make it that Charles and Alex fight at some point, maybe Charles comes down for featherweight because he has been down there.
But that's when he was on his losing streak.
Alex comes up and has to fight the gatekeeper.
That's when
but now he comes for
gold. I don't think he'll go back. Okay, fair enough.
Cinderella story. He comes back to reclaim what he once lost. Well, not once lost, but the losing streak. It's just
that's very true. And then he can be a champ if he gets the lightweight as well. So I mean, fair enough.
There's many intricate little stories. I mean, I think we're all rooting for little things to happen. Everybody wants somebody to be a champion. I mean, I'm still rooting for Dan Hooker. I think it's futile, but I'm still rooting for him.
Look, I'm not a Hooker fan, and now he's gonna dye his hair blonde. No, thank you, Dan. I'll pass.
You're gonna next week. I don't know what you're gonna do, and I come on with blonde hair. I don't know what you're gonna do.
But speaking of EFC 105, the big fight, Sitwape versus Vantonda, is getting spicy.
Wow. It is. It was spicy when they fought the first time. It's spicy this time around. Musa, when we interviewed him, he's a interesting, spicy fellow, man. He is. I think he's exactly what South African MMA needs in this sort of division. He's exciting. He likes to say things, and he's somebody to watch. Unfortunately, I haven't heard a return from Vantonda. Have you heard anything from him?
Nothing at all. not seeing anything. And even the EFC themselves posted a quote from Musa saying, "Look, I'm about to beat you." But nothing seems to be coming out from the Bantunda camp. That's possibly confidence, or they just don't like listening to noise. Because in theory, listening to all the words can be noise, even though it can hype up your fighter. Some fighters can get distracted by it. So I don't know. I wonder what's going through their minds in that camp.
I'm hearing Rocky music. They're
focused on the prize.
It's the eye of the tiger. Your boy's training hard.
The fight.
Up to the bed of I'm sorry. I digress.
We might get a copyright infringement. You sang that so well.
Yo, let's stop the lies here. Talk about the truth. I'm very sure Fantunda is in the camp right now, and his eye of the tigering, man. That last defeat, it saw, and now it's a title fight. Do you know what? I constantly thinking about these guys. We got two guys that are so aggressive against one another, and neither one is going to give an inch. And I really think that the guy who wins is the smarter guy that goes for the takedown, because Fantonda can't do the same thing again and expect the same result.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you have to try something different.
Yes, sorry.
One other fight there that's quite interesting is Mulenga versus Doisa, because Mulenga fought at EFC 104, so he's now fighting in back-to-back events, which is very interesting.
Wow. See, we don't hear about these things. It needs to be publicized, needs to be spoken about. That is incredible. People do not know how hard that is. That's following in the steps of like Makhachev and scary people, man.
Yeah. And this is at lightweight, not an easy weight class.
No, not an easy weight class at all. That is probably, I think, in South Africa and in the EFC is probably the most competitive weight class. It's hot in there, man. It's hot. It's not easy to weigh for 70 kgs. Everybody's walking around with that weight, man.
Easily. One other fight is PT Coxon versus Jeremy Chibila. Now, PT hasn't fought in a while. I think maybe. Yeah. I haven't seen him for like four events. So it'll be interesting to see him back and what he can do after being off for a while.
Yeah, man. People don't understand. This is not like any other job in the world. You can't just get up and do it again. You got to get that rust off. And sometimes getting that rust off means getting knocked out. And it's not a good thing. It's lovely to watch, but it's obviously a hard thing to do. And some people surprise guys a lot. I mean, we've seen it all the time here. We've seen it all the time in MMA. Guys come out of nowhere. They've been training like Sandhagen. He was training in COVID, and all of a sudden, whappa, head kick, spinning head kick. That's what I'm talking about. We might see Coxon come out with a spinning head kick. Who knows? Who knows what these guys are doing in the lab? Show us.
And interestingly enough, speaking about spinning head kick wins, this past, I think, week or so, Brave 72, Africa's own Eliza King Kong Kubanza won with an amazing spinning head kick. And I think I want to give shout outs to him for that. Head kicks are our favorites, hence kick him in the head. But to do it at an international level, in an international promotion, as an African fighter, phenomenal.
I just need to say it again. There's guys that fought in Brave. Makhachev, he comes up again. He was dominant. African fighters do well if they show that flair, if they show that energy, because there are distinctive routes into the international into the international fighting agencies. And the more we see this, the more we talk about it, I think just amazing things, beautiful stuff happening, man. And that we love to see the head kicks, man.
And I mean, it was so great that when he got back home, the sports minister of the whole Congo, his home country, actually welcomed him back to the country. So, it helps put fighters really on the map to go to these international promotions and do something amazing like that.
We need to see these things, guys. We need to see the love, right?
Yeah, man, we got to know who these people are before they become famous. So when they're there, we're like, we said it. Look at him.
Exactly. And you need to know you heard it here first. You heard it at Kick 'em in the Head. This is the place to know. This is the place to go where you find out what the no is.
And that's why you always gotta like, follow, subscribe, everyone right now. But one of the most interesting things that have come up in this past week is Israel Adesanya, John Jones, sparring at the Las Vegas airport. Oh my God. I won't lie. I saw that. I was like, look at beef squash, fight for real, fight for real.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me. No, I am. Does it make me a bad person if I was a bit disappointed? I was like, oh, really, guys? You gave me so much awesome energy. One was calling like the other one a little MMA boy bitch.
Yeah,
and the other one was saying that you're a drunken drug addict, steroid using piece. And now you've seen each other in real life, and it's chilled. It's like chilled.
Yeah, I hear you. You're right, but look, I'm not calling them keyboard warriors, no, but
you can't say that.
No, I'm a keyboard warrior. I'm the keyboard warrior.
I'm a keyboard warrior. If Israel Adesanya is a keyboard warrior, I am firmly a keyboard warrior. Thank you very much.
But
if John Jones is a keyboard warrior, I am nowhere near the keyboard. I can tell you that much.
Look, I think it's good that they stuck it to social media, because as we all know, for the most part, social media is not an actual reflection of reality or society. It's a platform where we all present ourselves in a certain way. So for me, I was like, oh, well, I mean, you guys, but he said some he said some messed up things about each other. So it's interesting to see, and I understand how you'd be disappointed.
Yeah, but this is real life, and we can't go around punching people in the face
in the airport,
or going like to a restaurant, finding out that the guy's in Miami, and just like running into the restaurant and just trying to punch him, man.
I think we know that case. We know that case very well.
We can't be doing things like that. And this is real life, and it's good to see that they're actually mature human beings with the level of skill that they have. So in that regard, it's lovely to see. In the other regard of the sense of violence, I'm disappointed.
I think it'll be more violent, because then they're literally, if they fought, because I mean, Jones has to come back down to light heavyweight. Israel has to go up again to light heavyweight, where he lost his first fight. So I think if they wanted to, they could. The only thing I think that would possibly make it a bit difficult is maybe Jones's age, where it takes time to come back down and get the scale and all that and go back up, because right now he's the heavyweight champ. So I think for that reason only it wouldn't happen. But if he was still at light heavyweight, I think they would be fighting right now. They'd be definitely putting a date.
I think the fantasy of it is insane. The imagining of them fighting, it's like, drum roll, please. UFC 300, Mahami. And before we even get into UFC 300, you were talking about fantasies and social media. And you know who comes up in fantasy social media? Conor McGregor.
Our favorite fighter.
Yeah. So we've heard recently that Conor will be fighting this year if Dana White has anything to do with it. He doesn't care what USADA says. He doesn't care what's happening. He is putting that $1 million pony in there to get beaten up by steroided up Chandler.
Oof. That's a fight that I really want to see, because with the kind of fighter that Chandler is, he doesn't give up. He barely gets, okay, look, surprisingly, somehow Charles, who doesn't really knock out, Charles knocked him out, but Chandler is so resilient. If you look at his fight against Justin Gaethje, that was an absolute all-out slugfest of a war. Now, combining that with Conor's all-round skill, I think would just be an amazing fight. But unfortunately, it's not looking like it's happening. But hey, I mean, this is Dana White we're talking about. He made McGregor versus Mayweather. He can do anything he wants. He's got slap league. He can do anything he wants.
Exactly. Homie is just slapping people. Apparently, that shit's going viral. So
look,
hey.
I followed them recently. AJ Hints is right now. He's the top level. I think he's the top level welterweight. He's fighting Wolverine, and these boys be slapping the hell out of each other. But let's not talk about slapfest here.
Fighting each other. Okay, yeah. Let's not go.
Slapping each other, slapping the hell out of each other. Just slapping.
Let's not talk about that too much, because I think we're gonna have some interesting point of views. I think that should be like a whole episode. We should talk about that.
I think so.
back to Conor and Chandler. I think it's a very winnable fight for Conor. And seriously, if he wants to be back, he needs it. He needs the fight. Chandler needs the money. He's adopting children like I don't know what's going on in his house. I love it. It's like he's Madonna or Angelina Jolie. I love what he's doing, but he needs the money. He needs that money. So come on, Conor.
He's got lots of school fees.
He's got them, man. He's got them, and it's beautiful to see. But the man is like J-Lo out here. He's adopting. I mean, not J-Lo. Angelina Jolie. He's adopting kids left, right, and center, and he needs the money. So Conor, ante up.
In terms of that matchup, though, we've got the Ultimate Fighter that's obviously on the go now, and what's happened is that Conor's fighters have lost 6 in a row.
It's
in a row.
It's hard. It's hard.
So
to
if you look
watch,
at that's happening, but Conor is the more respected and I guess higher, or if you look at the odds, he's more likely to beat Chandler, as you just said. How do you think that's going down?
Do you know what, man? Chandler said it. Chandler's been saying it. It's hard to watch, but I've been watching. Chandler says, I show up for my people. I'm here. I'm training them. I'm actually giving them high level experience. And Conor's not. He's not showing up for his guys. And we can see it. We can really, really see it. Say what you want about Michael Chandler. He is one of the top wrestlers in the entire world. He wrestles with Kamaru Usman like it's a day-to-day situation, and not many people can do that. The level that he is giving his guys in a coaching sense is extraordinary. If Conor was doing the same thing, we'd be seeing a different result, I think. Well, not a different result, but more a fair result, because his striking is mystic. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch a fired up, energetic Conor McGregor that's fighting for something. I mean, when he fought against Cowboy Cerrone, it was 55 seconds. What?
Right.
Yeah. And he used his flipping shoulders, man. He broke his whole orbital thing with his shoulders. It was beautiful to watch. And I just hope we can get him to that same level.
Well, look, there's still time to come, I suppose. But one other thing that's happened that's been very fantastic is the UFC Hall of Fame ceremony that was hosted this past week.
Indeed.
Congratulations to Cowboy Cerrone, Robbie Lawler, and the King of Rio, Jose Aldo. And those are 3 fighters you can safely say that they really, really deserve it, because with what they did when the sport came from being what it was to having the weight classes and everything and becoming a real sport, they put their lives on the line practically. They showed up, they fought, they made sure that they were at the top level each time they fought. And it's very good to see them recognized. Although Cerrone's speech, he did say, listen, I didn't hire no ghostwriters. This was all me, and he said nothing.
But did you hear Robbie Lawler's speech? It was beautiful.
It was.
And that's what we're talking about, man. That's a man that just at the highest level, he acknowledges the people that put him there, and that's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
And then Jose Aldo cried his way out on the way to actually receive his whole Hall of Fame award. And, seeing the emotion pouring out of him, you can see the amount of passion that it took for him to do that over all those years. So, that was very beautiful to see as well.
Did you watch his movie?
He has a movie?
Yeah, there's a movie about his life.
No, I didn't see it.
It's pretty hectic, man. I think it gives a lot of background to the person, to the man he is, and yeah, it's such a huge achievement for somebody that I think a lot of people were brought into the sport because of him, and to see him compete and to see him be and do what he does, it's just really awesome, man. And congrats. I think it's one of those things that you just expected to see happen, and it's wonderful to see happen.
Yeah, no, that's quite true. It really brings together everything that these guys show us and give to us, especially as the fans, putting their lives, their bodies on the line every whatever period that they can, and it's really beautiful to see.
Yes. So now let us talk about the super fictional, super out of this world.
Wait, before we get there,
who's
your fighter of the week? Whoa, who's your fighter of the week?
my fighter of the week. My fighter of the week is fighting. It's Dan Hooker. Do you know what? I love an underdog story. Dan Hooker, he comes on every single weekend, and his Twitter is hilarious, by the way. He comes on every single weekend. He says the funniest things, and he's got so much heart as a dude. He's still trying to be the champion. He's still fighting for something, and like I delusionally believe in him somehow.
But you know what they say, right? He wasn't the same after the Poirier fight. After fighting Poirier, unfortunately, it just, I don't know what happened, but since then,
Poirier dismantles people. Who is your favorite fighter of the week before I start talking too much?
Oh, look, I'm going all the way for the current interim featherweight champion, Yair Rodriguez, simply because the man kicks everything to death and to hell. I am all for him. I'm really looking forward to the fight against Volkanovski. And like I said, for me, I have so much respect for Volkanovski as a fighter that to see someone as versatile, as dynamic, as dangerous as Yair. I mean, that final second elbow on the Korean Zombie, completely putting the lights out. I mean, all those different skills in his entire arsenal, just seeing those two going at it together, he has to be my fighter of the week all the way.
It's beautiful. These two guys are like poetry and flippant motion coming together. Volkanovski doesn't turn down a fight. A lot of people say it. A lot of people say, I don't turn down a fight. I'll fight anybody. He's literally fighting anybody. He doesn't care how dangerous they are. He doesn't care how big they are and how much taller they are than him, because I mean we saw that difference between him and Islam. It's insane. He put it out. That man is a little gremlin.
And what's crazy is he used to be at light heavyweight when he used to play rugby, so technically he would fight anybody.
Exactly. And I think just a credit to your fighter of the week, Yair. Wow. A guy that has come from so many like ups and downs and everything like that. It's really beautiful to see him be the interim champion so convincingly as well. And the beautiful interim title his guys created for him from like the colors of Mexico. You know what? I love a guy that loves his heritage and is proud of his heritage and is willing to just talk about the people that have put him there and all the people supporting him. A credit to your pick there. Good one. It's a good one. Love it.
So I think let's just have a quick look at the UFC 290 card and what are your picks? Who are you picking? So the card, who's your pick? Starting with, we're going to go with the undercard. Figueiredo versus Cape, because they're both ranked.
Figueiredo versus Cape.
Wait, hang on. That can't be a real fight. They're not on this card.
No, Isn't it?
No, that fight got cancelled.
That's a cancelled fight. That is
Yeah.
cancelled. Oh man, let's start with Brady.
Della Maddalena.
Yeah.
I'm going Della Maddalena.
Ooh, we're gonna differ on this one. I'm going Brady.
Okay.
I love Brady. I think he. Ooh, Brady. Okay, let's not say why. Let's just go.
Lawler versus Price. I'm going.
Yeah.
Nico Price.
Ooh, different again. I'm going Hall of Famer Lawler.
I want to, but I'm just going to assume Nico's going to have the gas. I don't know. Okay. Bo Nickel versus Val Woodburn.
Bo Nickel.
I'm going underdog on this one because I'm going to put just like a little bit of money because if that guy wins, if Val Woodburn wins on a $10 bet, oh my goodness. So I'm going to go with Val Woodburn on this one. But honestly, Bo Nickel's a monster, so...
Yeah, I'm not a betting man. I put my money where the 2,002 was it 2,500 odds are. So I'm gonna put my money on Bo Nickel.
Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker.
Well, Hooker is my fight of the week, so I'm hoping he pulls it off.
I'm going Turner.
That's a hard one.
Because Turner's number 10. 10-11, I'm going Turner.
Turner's good, man. Turner's hot.
He was training with Hamzat. So okay.
He was right. And he said Hamza's like most awesome guy ever. So that's gonna be an interesting one. Oh my mind.
Whittaker Du Plessis.
Oh yo. Okay, I'm not gonna okay. I'm gonna be honest, guys. You guys aren't gonna like me. If Whittaker was from New Zealand, I would have chosen Dricus, but I'm going with Whittaker. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So
Pantoja Moreno.
Did you know that this is a trilogy?
Yes, I know it's gonna be hard.
And I'm going with Mr. 2-0 Pantoja.
Oh, really? You don't think my boy can put it off?
I think he can, but I mean, Pantoja's 2-0, and I know Moreno needs to avenge it. But if I look at, it's going to be a very close fight. And Pantoja's only ever lost on decision. So look, I'm just going to go Pantoja. It's going to be a good fight. Since
last week, I think Moreno is going to come and just bring highlights, man. I don't care if he wins. I don't care if he loses. I really think that's going to be fight of the night. Other than the main card and Dricus and Whittaker, that's going to be, it's going to be insane to watch those guys go off against each other. And I really think, Moreno is the champion, but Pantoja, man, Moreno was my fight of the week last week, but I'm going to go Pantoja as well.
Oh, yay, we're finally together, yay.
Yes, but
and the big one?
It's a hard soul.
And the big one, Volkanovski Rodriguez? I'm going Volkanovski.
What do you say to the upset? What do you say to the upset? What do you say about it being in the air? Your boy is gassed. He's gassed out, right? He's got nothing left. He's got nothing left. Then all of a sudden, Yaw just pulls out the spinning kick thing. Boom!
Rolling Thunder, they call it. That's the one.
Rolling Thunder, my man.
Yeah. That's like flip kick and to strike the head with the back of the ankle when you flip. Rolling Thunder.
Yes. Rolling Thunder. So I think Yair is one of those guys that has the ability to be dead and do something like that. And that's what you need against the gargoyle known as Volkanovski. He might get kicked in the head and still destroy him. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with the underdog. I love an underdog. I'm gonna go with Yair just for the upset of it.
Wow, I can't believe we only had one in common here.
I have to be different, man. Oh,
now the big one, UFC 300.
Oh,
The biggest fantasy UFC we can possibly think of. Headlining?
Zuckerberg, Musk. Is that even something people would thought they would hear about ever in their entire lives?
Not a physical fight.
But like, what is this new thing, Thread, right? I mean, is Zuckerberg really trying to compete here hard? He's trying to make his own Twitter. If that's not a call out, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Right?
So Musk has been tweeting the past day or so, and some Zuck is stealing. Zuck is a thief.
It's hectic, man.
It's hectic.
But your boy's called out the big guns, though. He's called out the best of the best of the best.
Yes.
George St. Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
Man that has a statue in the middle of, like, what is it, Vancouver or something? He's the best of the best. The statue man is here. The Karate King.
It's tough because the fact of the matter is Musk is 51, Zuckerberg is 39. So just on age, it's a bit tricky. But Musk is much bigger than Zuckerberg. He's built like a 1980s
He's built like a fridge. He's built like a fridge, man. And you know about those fridges? They're durable as fudge. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a good fight.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe they might even just make it a grappling competition, because now you know that UFC hosts their invitational grappling competition, and they say, okay, guys, go learn to grapple, see who can choke who out, rather than beating each other in the face as such. You know what I mean? That's an option, but I really think that something is going to happen because Musk is not. I mean, Musk has been in so many movies. I mean, at some point, I was like, is this guy really is he really working? Because he was in movie after movie, just doing guest appearances. So from that perspective, he's definitely keen on doing this. Zuckerberg looks keen on saying, listen, I know, and let's go. So, I mean, you've got your billions, I got my billions. Let's see what happens.
And I think if we talk about it realistically, the amount of money that would be raised for, I'm sure, charity or something like that would be exponential. I mean, if they raised that money and just gave it to the fighters, it would be beautiful.
That would fix fighter pay. Let's talk to Dana. That would fix fighter pay. For
exactly.
these 3 years.
That one fight would just do it all for everybody. It'd be insane. But realistically, I think grappling, I never even thought of that. I think a grappling match would probably be the best way to go. Just a roll, just like, I don't know actually what the rules are for the ADCC, but something like that. Yeah, we should start talking about Submission Kings. Submission Kings is becoming hot. It is the jiu-jitsu competition of South Africa. It is where some of the most high-level jiu-jitsu people are doing their thing. I just wanted to bring it out as a highlight. And speaking of bringing in the jiu-jitsu side of how big it is in the MMA sport, I really do think we should talk about these guys and see what we should do something there. That was a spur of the moment thing. I'm sorry to spring that on you like that.
So I recently saw that, jiu-jitsu only really came up in the late 80s or so, obviously with the Gracies. Before that, BJJ wasn't really a thing. And fighters were confused as to how you were beating them, because everyone was used to standing and banging, striking, boxing, karate, not going on the ground, grabbing you, and next thing you've passed out. So I think that's quite interesting that, to be frank, jiu-jitsu is one of the firmer cores of MMA. We don't really talk much about using your judo throws or, your taekwondo kicks, not so much. But when it comes to jiu-jitsu, that's the one, jiu-jitsu and boxing, obviously, the two disciplines that you need to have at your core in order to be a basic MMA practitioner is BJJ or just jiu-jitsu, boxing, and then maybe wrestling. But if you've got jiu-jitsu, you can sometimes get by without having the wrestling background. If you got wrestling, you can sometimes get by without having jiu-jitsu. But it's quite interesting that such a new discipline is at the core of MMA, not sambo or one of the older combat sports or combat disciplines.
Wow, that was such an awesome lesson in the MMA history. That's beautiful, man. I love it. I think we should do like a spin-off and say choke him out.
Choke him till he's dead.
Choke him till he's dead.
No, that's not for the kids.
Very, very seriously, it is very awesome, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it more in the future.
Definitely.
Back to UFC 300 and Zuck and Musk. It seems very ridiculous that these two names would ever be near the MMA industry, but the way we've been seeing people flocking in, it's amazing. And I think it's only good for the fighters.
And realistically speaking, they're putting the sport on the map at this point, which is fantastic because now people can see it. I know we all kind of, like, when you're not into MMA, you just kind of know about it until you've got personalities like that coming together, similar to what Conor managed to do with Floyd, who then he brought in a lot of the boxing community as well. So I think it's a very good thing for MMA for them to be doing this. And honestly, thank you to both of them for having beef, you know?
Exactly. And even if it's just for charity, it's awesome. I think, unfortunately, I have to liken them to a person that nobody likes, Jake Paul. Jake Paul has been extremely polarizing to MMA and to boxing. Never mind if you don't like him. Never mind if.
And now wrestling, or is that Logan? No, Logan's wrestling.
That's Logan. I like Logan. I think Logan's cool. I think Jake is an idiot. Be that as it may, the good that he's done for boxing and the good that he's done for MMA, making it mainstream. I do have to thank him as a huge fan of both sports. And we have to take these people in and we have to show them what MMA is about because they are bringing in the people. He's got millions of followers and he's got millions of people talking about him and he's talking about combat sports. And it's beautiful. Get the kids running. Get them kids running. Off the TikToks and start running, kids.
I think what you're saying is quite true. You know, as much as they came up as what we would call them fake boxers or whatever, they've done so much for the sport, whether or not it is that they're good boxers or not. They've done amazing things, not just for boxing, also for MMA. And now, quite frankly, Logan going into wrestling and being an amazing wrestler. Even Triple H was like, I've never seen someone move into wrestling and be this good. Because wrestling, as much as it's sports entertainment, it's still not easy. It's still very dangerous. I mean, I saw this guy jumping off the top rope onto the announcement table. This is a guy who's been wrestling for a month. That is phenomenal. So I agree with you. You know, they're doing amazing things. To be honest, it's surprising, but damn, well done to them.
And I think it's their consistency that's actually pushed it over the edge. I mean, Jake is going to have his biggest test yet in the consummate OG, Nate Diaz. And I just think that to fight somebody that really... Nate Diaz is not a joke. He is an OG. And
he's never been knocked out.
And he's going to hurt you, man. He's a guy that... Maybe Woodley and Askren and all those other guys. Nate Diaz is a killer, man.
He's an animal. Like he doesn't like he says it's Nate Diaz. Stockton's fires, baby. Let's get it.
Exactly. So for him to actually take this fight and consistently take fights is a credit, and people don't know how. To fight at any boxing level, amateur or otherwise, is awesome. So just a credit to him, and thanks, Jake.
Everyone, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, and anywhere that you find your podcasts. Till next time, keep listening to Kick in the Head podcast.
Hoo-doo-hoo.